Okay, so yesterday we have seen a simple program of addition of two numbers using the client server programming, that is using the HTML and servlet. Okay, what we have done yesterday, I'll just take a quick recap and then we will start with the today's program. So we have created a HTML file, okay, in a dynamic web project. So in that HTML file, I have created a form. So form action was add to and slash form, and I have put number one, number two, input type text. Name of the text box is num1, num2, and I have created a submit type of button with the value say add. Okay. Then when we have we have executed this particular form on server, the HTML form, we have got this output with the two numbers, and then we have added a servlet. Okay, that servlet was a simple servlet. In the doGet method of that servlet, we have write down such type of code that we have declared two variables, integer I and integer j. The first text box contents, that is num1 text box content, we have received in the I variable with the help of request.get parameter method. This get parameter returns you the string type. That's why we have called integer.parseInt. We have used integer.parseInt to convert the string contents to the integer. Similarly, the contents of text box 2, num2, we have received in integer j. After that, we have added k, we have added I and j, and we have stored the result in k. And then with the help of print writer object, that is out, and with the help of get writer method, which is available in the response. See, I and j we have got from the request. Okay, request dot get parameter, we have added I and j, and we have stored that result in k. Now that result is in the response. Okay, we want to send that result in the response. So we have called the response dot get writer method. It will return the object of print writer. So object of print writer is out, and this object sends the response to the client in terms of characters. Okay, so with the help of out.println, out is the object of print writer, it is used to write on the client side. So with the help of that out.println, we have printed the result of addition is k. Okay, so that is what we have seen yesterday. And yesterday we have talked about how to configure the deployment descriptor, that is web.xml file. Okay, so check it out in the index. Okay, what you have written, your action is add to. Okay, and in your web.xml, see here URL pattern you have to write down slash add to. Yesterday actually I forgot that slash, and that's why we got that error. But what we have to write down in the web.xml, important two tags, the servlet tag. Okay, servlet slash servlet, and second is servlet mapping tag, servlet mapping slash servlet mapping. So these are the two important tags that we have to add in the web.xml file. In the servlet tag, there are two subtags, servlet name and servlet class. Okay, so servlet name, you can write down any name what you want. Okay, servlet name, you can write down any name what you want. So addition is the servlet name I have written. And servlet class, you have to write down the name of the class. Check it out, add server, add ser, this is my class name. Okay, add ser, so that class name I have to write down over here in the servlet class, add ser. Okay, now the another tag is servlet mapping. Servlet mapping tag, again you have to write down the servlet name. This should be the same as the whatever we have written in servlet. Okay, and the second important tag is URL pattern. So URL pattern you have to write down add to. Here you have to write down slash and the form action. Check it out, in my index I have written form action add to. So the same thing you have to write down over there in the web.xml file. Okay, the slash and add to. So in this way, yesterday we have seen the seen our program, and yesterday we have used the doGet method. Okay, if you I'll just give you that we have used do get method. Yeah. So check it out. Yesterday we have written the whole code in the do get method. Okay. And what is the difference between do get and do post, that we will look first. Now if we run the yesterday's code, that is the demo servlet, you have to select is run as on server, run on server. It takes some time for execution. Yeah. Now check it out carefully. I'm writing over here, say 6912, sorry, 7912, and the second number is say 2345. Okay, I want to add these two numbers. Fine.
पुसायचं आहे का बघू नाही बघितलं थांब अजून बघतो तुम्ही
Okay, so when I click this add button, now whatever code of addition is there, I have written that code in the do get method. And now check it out. When you click this add button, okay, what happens? See here, see this particular browser. Okay, this is internal web browser of your Eclipse. Now when you say add button, your num1 will take the value 7912, num2 will take the value 2345, and you are clicking add button. So this is a query string. This complete string will be sent to the server with num1, num2, the name and value pair. Check out whatever numbers we are sending to the server, they are visible in the address bar. Okay, they are visible in the address bar. So anybody can view what data you are sending to the server. Say in case of your username and password, if you want to hide this data, we have to use the post method, because if you are using get method, that name value pair in the address bar, it is visible that what data we are sending to the server. Okay, instead of that, if we use get method, okay, so we will see the difference between get and post. So is it clear? When you use get method, number value pair data is visible which you are sending to the server. Okay, and what action you have done. Now instead of that, if we use the post method, so what changes are expected if you are using post method? The first thing is that go to your HTML file, form action as it is, and write down method is equal to post. If you don't method, if you do not mention any method, by default the method is get. Okay, in yesterday's session we have not mentioned any method, we just write down form action is equal to this. We have not mentioned any method. That is why by default it took the get method. It is a default method. Now if you want the post method, okay, if you want your data should be hidden when you are sending it to the server, you have to use the post method, and you have to write it down specifically. Okay, method is equal to post. This is the first change. Okay, and the second change is that, okay, there is no other change, only you have to write down method is equal to post. Okay, and now in the server, okay, in the servlet, what you have to do, check it out. Yesterday we have written the code in the get method. Servlet has one more method, that is a do post method. So just write down the complete code in a post method. Okay, so ijk and print writer dot out. Okay, so the complete code of 5 to 6 lines I have pasted in the post method. So these are the only two changes that you have to do. And now let us see how it works. So when we execute this program now, So when we execute this program now, check it out. We have executed this index.html of test add servlet. I will enter two numbers, say 345 and say 50, and now I'll say add me. Okay, now check it out. You have got the result 395, but check it out the address bar. Okay, when you use the post method, name value pair will not be seen. Whatever you are sending to the server, that contents will not be seen by the user. Okay, that contents will be sent to the user. You have got the result, but they will be hidden from the user. So the query string is different in case of get method, and query string is different in case of post method. This is your query string. In case of get method, in the query string, name value pairs are visible. In case of post method, the name value pairs are not visible in case of post method. So that was all about the difference between the get and post. And now today we are going to move to a very important topic of JDBC connectivity using the servlet. So now the servlet method. So our HTML file is going to remain same. We are going to use the same HTML file. Okay. We are going to change the servlet program. Okay. We are going to change the servlet program. Let me close all this. Yeah. So this is my HTML file. Same. Now in this file, I have not mentioned any method. So by default, it will be taking the get method. So number one, number two, we have a submit button. And now add servlet. We have added a servlet. The code is automatically do get and do post method are generated. Okay, so the auto generated code is there. Now after that, I am going to write down the simple code of addition. I will get the number one contents in store into I, number two contents store into J, K is equal to I plus J, print writer, this thing, whatever we have seen yesterday. Okay. Now, after this point onwards, my connectivity code starts. JDBC connectivity code starts. So what I have to do, I will go to the MySQL workbench and I will create a new schema called as number. Okay, I'll create a new schema called as number using the MySQL workbench. My URL is JDBC MySQL localhost 3306 and number is the schema. Okay, new schema. Username is root, password is Priya1980, the same. And I'll create a connection object, connection con. Now in the try catch block, we have to write down this, set up the connection. So in the try block, write down class dot for name, and this is the driver, com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, connection con is equal to driver manager dot get connection, and you have to pass URL, you have to pass username, and you have to pass password. These three parameters. And if your connection is not null, that means if your connection is successful, I'm just writing down println connected. Okay. Now in the try block itself, today I'll show you the insertion. So you know this code, we have already seen in case of swings also, in case of normal JDBC also, the same code we have to repeat. Okay, it is just a matter of copy paste. Just we have changed the table and schema. Okay, now in the MySQL workbench, I have created this number schema, and inside this number schema, I have created a table num. I have created a table num. That table contains three columns. First column ID num1, it will store the first number to be added. Second column will store the num2, and third column will store the result. So check it out. I have created a number schema. In the number schema, I have created num table. That num table has three columns, three attributes. First is ID num1, second attribute is num2, and third attribute is res, that is result. Okay, so I have written a query for insertion. So the query syntax is string SQL, okay, is equal to insert into num, insert into table num. That num table has three columns, num1, num2 result, values, three question marks. Okay, now we have to set these question marks. So our next step is prepared statement. After you create a query, you have to prepare the query, you have to prepare the requirement. So prepared statement is equal to con dot prepared statement, and you have to pass the SQL query. Okay, and you have to set what these question marks will contain. Okay, so statement dot set integer, all are integer values, num1, num2, num3, all are integer values, so we have to call set int. So first, okay, in the first column, that is first question mark, okay, first question mark corresponds to id num1. I am going to send I value. Okay, what is I contains the contents of number one text box, whatever you are going to enter. Okay, already I have stored it in I. Similarly, J will contain the contents of second text box, and K will contain your result. Okay, so these three I, J, K I am going to store. First question mark id num1 will store I. Second question mark num2 I am going to store J, and third question mark result I am going to store K. Okay, so what you are going to insert I, J, K values into this num table. Okay, once you are insert, you have executed the query. Okay, you have to call the execute update. Until and unless you call execute update, your query results will not be reflected. Okay, so I have taken here some integer variable, any, say row inserted is equal to statement dot execute update. Once your execute update is executed successfully, that means your row gets inserted successfully into your table. Okay, and if row inserted is greater than 1, then you have to send the message the new record was inserted successfully. Okay, now this is how we have to insert into the table, and after you insert into the table, you have to display the contents. Okay, you have to display the contents. So the query to retrieve the content from the table is select star from num. Num is my table. Okay, so uh, so the query is select star from num. So what I will do again, statement stmt is equal to con dot create statement. Now check out this difference. When I have inserted, I have used prepared statement, and we have seen in the previous lecture what is the difference between prepared statement and what is the difference between statement. Okay, so here statement, I'm just going to extract the values. Okay, no dynamic updation is there. When you are inserting, dynamically you are updating the database. That's why we have to use the prepared statement. Right now I'm just extracting the value, so you can use the normal statement object. So I have created a statement object con dot create statement, and now result set result is equal to statement dot execute query sql1. Sql1 is my simple query select star from num. Okay, and now you have got all your contents into the result object. You are going to display those contents. So let us declare one count to 0.